What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Keefe, with a late night live stream. I didn't really have a chance to plot this out, but here we go. Felt I would jump on live and give a little discussion. This topic has been a minute coming. Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. This is Skull Basher's here. What's up, Skull Basher? Good to see you. And Sean Parkin is also here. There's a lot of stuff swirling around in the world right now, and everybody is not okay. People are not fine. So, I thought it would be important to come on and talk about a few things. Benny is here also. What's up, Benny? Thanks for passing through. It looks like my Wi-Fi is sucking ass. Super cool. Let's see. Yep. All right. Well, we'll do our best. Anywho, I thought it would be a good idea. The world is coming apart. And what I'm trying to do is not make it worse. I'm definitely trying to help bring people together and clarify and explain things that you may not understand. Most people that cover music, heavy music, the majority of us are not trained journalists. We are not free speech experts. We are not current events experts. Most music writers, reviewers, interviewers, reactors, reaction channels, YouTubers, podcasters, we're just opinionated assholes talking about the music we love, which, I get, and I understand. At the same time, people have funny notions about, and now I'm back. All right. And the other Wi-Fi channel doesn't do any better. All right, whatever. Hopefully it gets better. So lots of crazy shit going on in the world, and I thought that I would pop in and talk about it because the internet is blowing up. I'm not here to overtly be political. I think people who follow the channel and our website, ghostcultman.com, know my usual political leanings, but I'm going to wade into this. And Silent Echo is here. Sonic Worshipper is here. I'm going to wade into the water and talk a little bit. I meant to go on earlier, but I had a doctor's appointment earlier and a bunch of tests and shots and other things. So I'm pretty beat up. I took a nap. I ate dinner. And now I'm here. So, why are we here? Riot Fest was this weekend, and this is the first Riot Fest we did not cover in a long time because our staff had some family issues and illnesses. And we ended up canceling it the last minute, which kind of blows. But GWAR played Riot Fest for the second year in a row. And many times have they played Riot Fest. And GWAR is having a huge year. And I'll talk about it in a second. I can't believe that in 2025, people are not hip to GWAR, even as underground and weird as they are. They're still a very popular band. They have a lot of popular cachet in pop culture. Max is here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Long time no see. I think it's really important to discuss why everybody is overreacting about GWAR and what GWAR does and Riot Fest and the absolutely batshit reactions to what GWAR did at Riot Fest. Jesse's here. What's up? What's up? So, GWAR must be destroyed is a thing, by the way. And so, GWAR must be protected is what I wrote as the headline for this post. And we're going to talk about GWAR. We're going to talk about freedom of speech. We're going to talk a little bit about Jimmy Kimmel and what happened there. We're going to talk about the FCC and, what actually is going the fuck on. Incidentally, one of the number one searches in Google and social media today is satire freedom of speech? And you could argue satire is almost one of the most important elements of freedom of speech. And a lot of people whip around amendments. They think the Second Amendment blanketly, tacitly means they can have guns, a whole arsenal of guns at free will. Blue Oigar is here. And the same thing with freedom of speech, the First Amendment. People don't actually really understand what it is. So I'm one of the rare breed of music reviewers and critics that is an actual trained journalist. I also played in bands for a long time. I also was an actual journalist. I work in marketing, media and social media, so I understand all these things. I feel like I have a sophisticated mind and mentality for this stuff, and a lot of people don't. And a lot of overreactions on social media, because today everybody is like knee-jerk reaction left and right, right? So Riot Fest was this weekend. Great festival in Chicago. Like I said, we've been honored to cover it many times. And just interestingly enough, that GWAR played, and GWAR does what GWAR does. They're entertainers. Everything they do is satire. They're dressed up in costumes they made themselves, spraying fake blood, piss, and urine, and cum on the crowd. People show up in white shirts to get covered in this gross dye water. And GWAR is one of the longest running institutions in heavy music. They started out as a punk band. My other podcast has done an extensive review of GWAR's early albums. And, I think it's very important to talk about these things. So, GWAR does what they do. They eviscerate politicians, celebrities, whatever on stage. They cut them open and they pull out their guts and they spray fake blood and cum and pee on everybody. And GWAR has their own fan base called Bohabs. There's a GWAR bar in Virginia. GWAR is having a huge year with a multimedia release album. They just did, we'll talk about all the things going on. They have a museum exhibition right now happening in LA, I think until the end of October, that we're trying to get down to and cover. But like the whole internet lost their fucking minds about GWAR beheading, eviscerating Trump and beheading Elon Musk. This is something they do. They did it to Biden. They did it to Obama. They did it to Bush Jr. They did it to Bush Sr. They did it to Clinton. They did it to Hillary. They did it to Kamala. They do it to everybody. GWAR is GWAR. People don't understand. And then people coming for Riot Fest and clapping back on Riot Fest, who, they are a long way. They need to cut the federal funding. And Riot Fest was like, ha, 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 federal funding. We're an independent music festival. And we partnered with the city of Chicago for 20 years. This was the 20th Riot Fest. They're not going anywhere. But people like attacking Riot Fest and attacking GWAR. Riot Fest that had Blink-182 and Green Day, two of the most popular bands in the world. Again, Green Day, obviously also very political. So that was the backstory of why I wanted to jump on here between Kimmel and Trump and the FCC and all these things. And why we need to actually rally around and protect GWAR, because they are an institution. They're an institution in heavy music, in punk rock and metal. So just for some minutiae, we usually have a live stream menu. If you guys want to tip, I'm gratefully appreciative of that. I'll drop the information in the... I don't accept co-hosts, TikTokers. Sorry, not sorry. This is my show. You can feel free to sub and maybe send us a tip, and I might consider listening to your song and reviewing it another time, probably on tomorrow's show. But I don't do co-hosts, so don't ask. Fano Suave is here. What's up, Fano Suave? A couple of people are watching on the Tube of You. Hey, Curtis is here, my best friend. What's up, bro? I love you. Thanks for being here. I'm going to talk about some freedom of speech and GWAR and everything going on right now in the country. And I'm going to tread lightly, but also I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it fucking real. So there's our tip menu. Here's my Cash App if you guys want to drop a tip. Not you, Kurt. You're an everydayer. You're a real one. Also just a little more housekeeping. We are giving away tickets to see The Cult, Death Cult, Failure, and Patriarchy in LA. And yes, I love you too. Thanks, bro. So we're giving away these tickets. The link is in our description. I made a post here on TikTok if you want to check one of the posts. What's up, Chasey and Tuco? What's up? Great name there, Tuco. If you are a fan of The Cult and you live somewhere within striking distance to go to LA on October 30th for the end show of the tour, you can go see The Cult. We have 5 pairs of tickets to give away. We're plugging that. So the link is in our description if you want to sign up. Also, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. Later today, it's almost midnight here on the West Coast. It's tomorrow everywhere else in the world in the future. and in the past a little bit still earlier today. But I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with my weekly rock and metal news live stream, talking about news, interviews, major rumors, and all the crazy drama from the week, all the new music you need to pick up as a metal and rock fan, and so much more. So I'll be back tomorrow with more. But I just wanted to jump on briefly and talk about Riot Fest. So here's Riot Fest. I'm going to embiggen this. So, like, this is the lineup for Riot Fest. Blink-182, Weird Al, Alkaline Trio, Riley Kiley, Knock Loose, Pogues, Weezer, Sex Pistols were dropped off because of injury to Steve Jones, Beach Boys, Jack White, Dropkick Murphys, James, I didn't know they were even back doing music, Green Day, Idols, Jawbreaker, Bad Religion. So a lot of punk rock, some metal, some hardcore. Riot Fest is actually one of my favorite things I've ever done as a journalist. They treated me exceptionally well, and just really cared for us. And I had a great time there. This was the first year we didn't get to cover the festival. It's just a bummer. We tried everything, and just stuff got in the way with illness and family stuff. And so it just could not happen. But we'll be back next year, hopefully. And this takes place every year. This is the 20th year. This takes place in Douglas Park in downtown, in the middle of Chicago, basically, in Douglas Park, southeast Chicago. Nice neighborhood, easy to get to. A little bit of a clusterfuck if you stay till the end of any night because everybody's leaving at the same time, but still a great time. So GWAR plays for the second year in a row, and GWAR does what GWAR does. They put on a show. This is a picture from 2018 that you're watching. If you're seeing this, Lutz Z is here. What's up? What's up? So, you know, we're here talking about GWAR and Riot Fest and Jimmy Kimmel and all these controversies and freedom of speech, and why freedom of speech is important, and why satire especially is important to protect. So, I mean, this is not new. GWAR does this at their shows. They have characters that come out on stage. They cut them apart in the middle of a song. They spew blood, pee, and cum on everybody. It's all fake, obviously. And GWAR are mutants from Uranus, and they landed in Antarctica, and they're here on Earth to smoke crack, fuck whores, and party down. That's what GWAR is. That's what GWAR has been since 1985. And people who are mad about GWAR just performing and entertaining are fucking soft and idiots. Straight the fuck out. So this is from 2018. So Trump presidency 1, where they skewered him. And they were doing this to him, well, when he was on The Apprentice. You're fired, Donald. And then they decapitated Elon Musk. I would have photos of this had we covered the festival. And, you know, again, I just like, you know, it's satire. This is not, Riot Fest is far, it's a family-friendly event, if anything. It's far from demonic and evil. GWAR is funny and fun. So, you know, they put on their regular show. Here's just some other pictures from across our whole history. GWAR decapitating other people. Here's Netanyahu, who they cut open and killed. Here's Blothar the Berserker shooting blood out of his many cocks. I think he's got like 7 or 8 cocks, like cow udders, except dicks. And he shoots blood on everybody from it. And, you know, GWAR has been a DIY enterprise their entire career. Even though they've been on Metal Blade, they've also put out a couple of records, their last few independently. Jason Pathetic is here. What's up, Jason? And so, you know, this is what GWAR does. These are images, again, from across, you know, again, here's another year of GWAR we covered. I mean, yeah. So then why are people upset about Trump and Elon getting, you know, skewered for satire? Probably Ragnarok, Zach. Why is you know, obviously we had like the last couple of, we've had a psychotic break in the country anyway, where we have, everything is very politicized, right? And I'm not here to talk about politics mostly. I think anybody that's watched our channel knows my politics pretty on Front Street, how we do things here at Ghost Cult. But that being said, obviously the brouhaha with Disney, ABC, whatever, bowing down to the FCC chairman and pulling Kimmel, and then Kimmel coming back on last night and just going, you know, being sincere in his apology, of which he really, you know, whatever, didn't say much wrong, but the whiff of impropriety has gotten people clutching their fucking pearls. You know, really fucking weak, really weak sauce. And there's a reason why, again, the #1 search result on social media today and on Google, I'm a marketing expert, so this is my domain, is satire free speech? And not only is satire free speech, it's one of the most important parts of free speech to protect. So Jimmy Kimmel came back on last night. They worked it out. Disney lost like maybe $3-4 billion of subscribers and business in a few days, and they saw what the clapback looks like. And honestly, most conservatives would tell you freedom of speech is one of the most important things for them. And you absolutely can't, if you even Ted Cruz, who I find deplorable, is a horrible person, a terrible, not leader, not a fucking good senator, nothing. He was like, if we start clamping down on free speech, it's going to go very bad for the Republican Party. He didn't even say conservatives. He said the Republican Party. So, when Ted Cruz is coming out and I'm agreeing with him, something's wrong in the country. So, again, I'm sad that Charlie Kirk was killed. Nobody should be murdered for their, beliefs, good, bad, indifferent, even hateful people. The First Amendment protects satire. It protects politics. It protects dissent. It does not protect blatant hate speech. I don't think, skewering Elon Musk, who is just inherently a funny and terrible person, the richest guy in the world, is worth making fun of. The president of the United States, whoever that is, whatever party they serve, is worth making fun of. We cannot allow the government to clamp down on media. Now, because media is now controlled by huge corporations, there's a weakness there inherent. This is why monopolies are a bad idea, because basically two companies want to merge and they're worried about upsetting the president. Just fucking soft shit that has no place in American life, honestly. But okay, so Kimmel is back, and you should go watch his comeback speech and hear what he has to say instead of judging him. And people trying to clap back on Riot Fest. By the way, Jimmy Kimmel is, if you love rock and metal, Jimmy Kimmel is the #1 guy to have rock and metal on his show. Jimmy Fallon loves rap and pop music and a little bit of rock, but not really. And, nobody else really has a forum for big metal and rock people to come on and be on TV. Jimmy Kimmel has hosted Metallica's charity concert 3 years in a row. They'll probably do it again this year. Really. So, Kimmel is a guy we should be, he went a long way from doing dick and fart jokes to being, the host of late night. And even Bill Maher, who I don't like, was like, hey, Jimmy, people came out from all across, all walks of life, all over the world. And Bill Maher was like, hey, remember when I got fired by ABC? I turned around and had the most successful run of my career leaving ABC. They said I would never work again. So, good for you. But just to continue, here's a map of where you cannot watch Jimmy Kimmel right now because of Nexstar and Sinclair, who will not carry his show. It's quite a big swath of the country, including whole states in some places, or where major metropolitan centers are. But, I just want to read this. This is from Google, literally. Satire is a highly protected form of free speech in the United States, especially when it targets public figures or institutions. As a tool for political and social commentary, satire is considered a key component of robust public debate, and courts have consistently protected it from legal challenges such as defamation and copyright infringement. The U.S. Supreme Court has established that satire is protected speech and generally cannot be the basis for a defamation lawsuit, provided that is not presented as a believable fact, which, again, nobody would take a believable fact from GWAR or comedians, late-night comedians and hosts, right? There's a landmark case in 1988, the People Hustler versus Jerry Falwell, the People versus Larry Flint movie talks all about this, and the Supreme Court unanimously ruled in favor of Hustler magazine, and it was like the most conservative Supreme Court of all time until now, which had published a satirical ad ridiculing televangelist Jerry Falwell. I believe they alleged he fucked his mother. Anywho, that's the short part of it. And again, for the people that say that they don't want to, bow down to censorship and they don't want government to be interfering in public life. Well, here's the FCC, a not elected board and a commissioner coming in and telling people who can and can't be on the air. Here's the news release of the commissioner of the FCC talking about Kimmel's reinstatement, September 22nd. So this is 2 days ago. FCC Commissioner Anna Gomez issued the following statement after Walt Disney Company made the decision to return to the air the Jimmy Kimmel Show on ABC. I'm glad to see Disney find its courage in the face of clear government intimidation. More importantly, I want to thank those Americans from across the ideological spectrum who spoke loudly and courageously against this blatant attempt to silence free speech. It will continue to be up to us as citizens to push back against this administration's growing campaign of censorship and control. As this FCC considers steps that would let same billion-dollar media conglomerates that caved into government pressure grow even bigger, we must combat these efforts to stifle free expression. I will keep fighting to protect consumers, promote a healthy media ecosystem with a viewpoint of diversity, and ensure local broadcasters have the independence to stand up to government threats. So, I mean, like, this is real talk. This is real talk. This is a threat to democracy. You cannot let people get angry in their feelings about GWAR making fun of Trump and Elon. Scott, what's up, buddy? I'm good. I'm on here talking about GWAR and freedom of speech and Jimmy Kimmel and stuff. I'm okay. I had a long day at the doctor's. A lot of waiting around. Skin Graft Records just passed by. What's up, Scooter? What's up? I see you here on Instagram. I just looked away for a minute. I got my very first flu shot today. Hopefully I'm not ass tomorrow. I have a busy day. So yeah, like, this is really important. And again, GWAR has always been about satire. If you don't understand that, you are fucking stupid. If you want a better explanation of all of this, that's probably a little more literate than I am, I highly recommend the channel New Rock Stars on YouTube, or the New Rock Stars podcasts. Eric Voss is the host and the co-founder, and he did a really great take on this. He did a take about Colbert being canceled by Paramount. He did a big take about Kimmel, and he's got a very cogent explanation about why this stuff, Disney was involved, obviously, as the owner of ABC. And so, like, it's really, yep. I know, buddy, I know. It's important to protect GWAR, because they have been at the forefront of satire their entire career. And it's really important. And just to talk a little bit more about GWAR as we wind this down and I give you all back your evening. And GWAR is a brand that makes toys. They have a beer. They have a bar. They have a museum exhibition going on in LA right now of their whole history. There's a documentary, This is GWAR. It was showing on Shudder. They have a toy line. They just did, here's a Sawbog Destructo leaning against a porta potty. I understand, bro. Me too. I understand totally. So yeah, man. They have dildos. Right now, somebody is coming on a GWAR glow-in-the-dark dildo, either in their ass or their vagina or other holes. I mean, they were selling these at their shows. So, I mean, this is not a band to take seriously. They were never meant to be taken seriously. People are not only sensitive, dude, it's absolute weak sauce. And I will give ultimate props to Riot Fest. So people tried to clap on Riot Fest. Yeah, look at this beautiful crafted dildo. This is supposed to be Odorous Urungus's dick, the cuttlefish, just made in a dildo form with a very sturdy base, so you could either suction it to a wall or the floor and grind on it or whatever. I don't know personally, but that's what I've been told. They're very effective, and they vibrate and they stimulate. Good shit. Life is too short not to come every day. And clearly, a lot of these people angry are not coming enough because they're not busy coming, so they're busy fucking keyboard warrioring. It's not a word, but fucking stupid. Just absolutely check your fucking medications, check yourselves. You are absolutely ridiculous clown shoes. And props to Riot Fest for fighting back. People are like, you're evil, and in Jesus' name, we need to save these people. 50,000 people went to Riot Fest and they were all sick. It's like, dude, GWAR is really smart. And this is, I'm personal friends with GWAR's publicist. And let me tell you, this is going to help everybody Googling GWAR, Spotifying GWAR's music, and being like, oh, fuck this. And, literally their publicist is probably jerking off right now. He's so fucking happy that this happened, because this is the absolute best publicity for a band having a humongous year with a museum exhibition in LA, on tour right now, which I'll talk about in a second. Like, they have a new album and multimedia release out, and a graphic novel and a plushie toy of GWAR. I mean, just people are fucking stupid, man. And if we let them push us around and do this to GWAR, they're going to do it to everybody else. And you wonder why your favorite death metal albums with gnarly fucking, eviscerated crazy shit on the cover is not allowed in half the countries in the world because of censorship, because it's offending them to see guts and blood. When you know that most death metal is fucking a joke, including even grindcore and porno grind and bizarre shit that is fixated on dismembering people, especially women and children. Who gives a fuck? It's all a joke. Horror movies. People are not watching horror movies and going out and killing people. It's proven facts. So again, GWAR toys, GWAR dildos, and I think about my buddy Odorous Urungus, Dave Brocky, who died going back quite a while now, 12, 13 years ago. And Ghost Cult has 2 of the last ever interviews with Odorous Urungus. I took this photo. This is actually one of my favorite photos I've ever taken of Odorous. This was at the Wang Theater in Boston. It's a beautiful gold-leafed, renovated vaudeville theater with velvet and beautiful carpeted rugs, and they papered and plastic the whole fucking place to keep the GWAR shit from happening everywhere. Broadway shows happen there. Bruce Springsteen has played there in his one-man, guitar and piano show, whatever. And I did this. Yeah, man, George is one of the sweetest fucking people alive, right? He gives all his toys to charity and hospitals. He's just adorable. If you ever met George Corpse Grinder Fisher, he's lovely. Even fucking Barnes, who I met, even though he was kind of a weirdo and ditched me for some interviews, which made me salty. Curtis, absolutely right. These times are worse than the Tipper times. Unreal. Fuck right. That is 100% fuck yeah right, bro. But I took this picture of Odorous, and I think about what Odorous would say, and it's similar to what George Carlin would say. Fuck these people. These people are anti-American. They think they're down for freedom, but it's fascism. And the real true test of a villain is the villain thinks they're the hero. And a lot of these people are villainous. They're not about freedom. I'm about freedom. No, you're not if you don't appreciate public discourse, satire, and jokes. You're all fucking idiots. And that goes across any party. If you're offended by GWAR, you're a fucking moron. And if you're a metalhead, even if you don't like GWAR, you need to be aware of this, because if they can come for GWAR, they can come for all your other favorite bands next. And I don't want to see that shit happen. I've been in this shit for too long, and I don't want to see this shit happen. Anyway, here's GWAR's comic book. It's awesome. The Return of GWAR with a plushie doll and a comic book. Narcissism, textbook narcissism, malignant narcissism, as you know I love to say, and self-righteousness. Absolute fucking bullshit. But thank you, Curtis and Scott, for your awesome comments. And again, GWAR just did This Is GWAR at the Smod Castle with Kevin Smith. Holy fuck. Life achievement unlocked. Kevin Smith has been taking the stories of my whole fucking Gen X life and telling them over across movies. Dogma's coming back. I'm sure the death threats and bullshit will happen there as well. And they just did the Smod Castle. And so GWAR's on tour right now. You can catch them. I believe this was their first handful of dates. People are going to protest them. Just unfucking real. And I thought about, there was a bunch of Disney and ABC protests, but I didn't have rights to the photos, so I didn't want to share them. Helmet, GWAR, Helmet, Dwarves, and Blood Vulture, the Return of GWAR tour, featuring GWAR, and more. I mean, this is poetry. GWAR is got a couple of days off. They're in Sacramento for Aftershock next weekend, and then the tour kicks off the rest of the way. Salt Lake City, Southwest, West Coast, Canada, Northern Canada, down to Colorado, Nebraska, Texas, then North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Maryland, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Philly, New York, and Norfolk, Virginia. Basically a hometown show for GWAR, who is from Richmond. And that's our show. Thanks for... I don't really get on here and do a lot of soapboxing lately, but, man, thank you so much for supporting me and letting me do what I do. I will be back tomorrow afternoon. It is midnight on the West Coast, so I will be back later today, about 4 p.m. Pacific, doing my weekly show. We'll talk about this and a bunch more shit. If you're new here and you like this show, thanks, and like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Again, if you want to win tickets and you're in the LA, California vicinity, and you want to go see the Cult, Death Cult, Failure, and Patriarchy, who needs to, not the band, but Patriarchy, the Patriarchy needs to get smashed. Patriarchy, the band, is cool. We did a premiere for them not too long ago. I'm Keefe at GhostCultMag.com. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow. Freedom or fuck off. That's my final words. Peace.